Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Let me share with you the most interesting thing that I learned today having to do with crypto. And I'll tell you, this only makes me even more confident in holding XRP when I look at the entire backdrop of what is happening in the crypto sphere, specifically with XRP reaching the end of the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. That in conjunction with the BlackRock thing. I'm assuming most of you are aware of what happened, but if not, I'll quickly catch you up. But there's something having to do with the BlackRock news that caught my attention today that I did not know. And when I saw that, it just made me that much more confident this thing's going to go down. It's going to happen. And some of you may have seen this figure. Some had discussed it even before what happened with BlackRock announcing that they were going for a Bitcoin spot ETF. I hadn't seen it until today. So maybe some of you know it, but I think most don't, and you're going to find it fascinating, and I would say probably confidence-inducing. At least that's what it was for me. But before going further, I want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, XRP is at 49 cents, Bitcoin at $30,711, market cap for the asset class over 1.2 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance at 49.46%. So recently been climbing, and not surprising. I'm actually very happy to see that because we should come. I mean, if you've been following markets for a while, maybe you already know this, but we should expect that. It's a good thing. When you see Bitcoin dominance increase, that means money's flowing into the king crypto, as some call it. Although, of course, from a technological perspective, let's just be real. It's the least sophisticated coin out there. But I digress. It's got first mover advantage. It is what it is. I still like it. I hold it. But the money always goes there first because it was there first, and standards matter in humanity, in society. So, okay, I'll accept that. But eventually, money ends up, people take profit, and money ends up flowing into other cryptos, other large cap coins, and then Bitcoin dominance decreases, and dominance increases for XRP and everything else. Historically, that's what happened, and rinse and repeat. So it's good to see this. It's one of the steps, meaning we're that much closer to getting there. That would be my guess anyway. But anyway, so here's what I found, and the headline says it all, really. This is from the Crypto News Flash. BlackRock's ETF success rate, 575 to 1 with the SEC. Will their Bitcoin application follow suit? Now, look, I've been doing my best in recent days to drive home just how significant this is. The BlackRock filing for a Bitcoin spot ETF, gigantic. We're talking about the world's largest firm in terms of assets under management. My gosh, about $10 trillion in assets under management. And it's not just that, it spurred other firms. At least one has about 1.5 trillion in assets under management. It spurred other firms to file their own spot Bitcoin ETFs, and they seem to have copied the style, hoping that they'll get approved as well. Floodgate's going to open here. And there's going to be there's a whole host of new people the world over. They don't have to get on Coinbase or pick a cryptocurrency exchange. They're just going to have access to Bitcoin through this ETF. They can get crypto exposure without signing up for a new platform. And it's through, again, if it's BlackRock, it's a big deal. And Bitcoin, just to be clear, actually has to be purchased by BlackRock for the fund. It literally has to be backed. That's how this works. It's totally different than futures. Futures, real physical Bitcoin, in the sense that you can use the word physical even, it doesn't have to be purchased. But not true with an ETF. So this is a big deal. And so you look at the success rate here, and you understand how well connected these people are at BlackRock to the people in governments, top of the governments, including the United States, the world over. If they're filing for an ETF, and they are, I think it's not unreasonable to speculate that perhaps they got a nod from somebody that now's the time to do this. Whatever the behind the scenes rationale is, and we're not privy to that, something's happened here because they don't lose when it comes to filing for ETFs. If they did it now, it's because they have a high level of confidence, like exceedingly high, that it's going to happen. And so you're talking about this happening at a time when, we're certainly coming out of the 2022 bear market era. Crypto markets have been overall pretty damn good this year, especially compared to last year. You got the SEC v. Ripple case ending, just the confluence of these events. And so then you look here, and this is why I was saying, this is the thing that I saw today that I was just like, I just found most interesting and most consequential. BlackRock's going to get approved, I'm guessing. It just made me that much. I already thought that would probably happen. I've said that before. But then I saw this and I was like, yup. So check this out. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, recently announced its foray into the cryptocurrency realm by applying for a Bitcoin spot ETF with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Given the SEC's history of rejecting similar applications, BlackRock's move has sparked considerable speculation and intrigue within the industry. However, given BlackRock's unparalleled success rate with the SEC, its chances could be more promising than initially thought. Yeah, and let me pause to point out something. I mentioned this in a recent video, but it's worth repeating because I may have only said it like one time ever. But I found data indicating, it was from an article, and so it was an expectation from quote-unquote experts that, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they were noting that even if it was just like 0.3% of the money that equates to all of BlackRock's assets, even just 0.3% went into crypto, that would sap up all of the available Bitcoin and all of the available XRP on exchanges right now. I kid you not, just 0.3%. It would sap up all of that. That's insane. So if the expert's right, and I can't say for sure, I haven't vetted the work of this individual, but if that's true, oh my gosh. See, that's why this is a big deal. So it's a Bitcoin spot ETF, but this is fantastic for everyone in crypto, regardless of what coin you hold. That's my personal opinion. So that's why even with XRP being my largest holding, I'm sitting here thinking, yes, this is going to be absolutely fantastic for me as an XRP holder, with XRP being by a long shot my largest individual crypto holding. Hell yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about this as an XRP holder. I'm excited for all of the crypto that I hold because I understand the floodgates opening, the amount of money that pours in, and we're here before pretty much every institution on the damn planet and almost every other human in existence. Yup. So check this out. BlackRock's announcement had an immediate positive impact on Bitcoin, with its price jumping over $2,000 within days following the filing. If approved, the long-term effects could potentially be even more beneficial for the entire crypto industry. Based on BlackRock's history with the SEC, Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst Eric Balkunas suggests the chances of approval could be promising, with a record of 575 approved ETFs versus one rejection. That's insane. BlackRock's success rate is indeed impressive. And folks, again, just to be clear, there's been a ton of firms over the years that have applied for spot Bitcoin ETFs, all of them swatted down. And BlackRock comes in with this record, and we're supposed to think, oh yeah, they'll get swatted down too. No, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, and then they also note here, the loan rejection reportedly came from a failure to mandate daily disclosure of holdings by participants in an actively managed ETF. Okay, so when I read that sentence, I just thought, okay, so it was a failure by BlackRock in form. 1 out of 575. If they had filed it differently and accounted for that, then that one probably would have gotten approved too. These folks know what they're doing. And I'm just telling you, I don't believe for a second that they'd be filing right now if it wasn't a certainty or as close to certain as possible that it's going to get approved. I can't imagine, especially with the connections of these people. We'll see. And also yesterday, and I want to mention this again. So yesterday, I mentioned there was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. He said that there were hits on his website. There were 3,000 for monetary policy and 600,000 hits on his website for Bitcoin. And this is a guy who 5 or 6 years ago was like, he was just saying the most vile nonsense crap things about Bitcoin that you could possibly imagine. And so Frecky, XRP community member, tagged me in this tweet sharing that video clip. And Frecky has been in crypto since 2011. He has a background in finance, and he gets the big picture. That's my personal opinion here. And so I responded to that clip, and I wrote, and I mentioned this one tweet, but I got some new stuff for you here. This is just how the thread flowed. I wrote, "It's truly an amazing comment from Larry Fink. Just wow. Especially after what he was saying about Bitcoin 5 or 6 years ago." And then Attorney Deaton responded to me. He jumped in and said, "It truly is. When you and others said we were early, I think Larry Fink may have validated such statements." True words have never been spoken, Attorney Deaton. Absolutely. And it is pretty plain to see, and there are other ways there are tons of reasons, even before this, that I believe that very strongly to be the case. With, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 4% of humans having ever jumped in crypto, and then substantially less than 1% of humans on the planet having ever held XRP. The opportunity, it's just staggering in my mind. And so I responded to Attorney Deaton and I said, it was inevitable. Some in traditional finance will be dragged kicking and screaming, but it's happening. I'm just thankful we're all here first. That means the vast majority of the opportunity is yet to be seized. Yeah, so that's what I tweeted to him. And again, so I hope you're kind of seeing why this was the most exciting and interesting thing that I came across in crypto today, because it's the most impactful for me on an individual level. I believe that anyway, and just for crypto in general. So if you're in crypto, even if you don't like BlackRock, which is totally reasonable, this is still good in terms of money flowing in, floodgates opening, and we're here first. And Frecky responded to me and wrote correct. And then in a separate tweet he wrote, I think not only because it's BlackRock, which is big, but I think Gensler has so much pressure that he has to throw the market a win/bone, which would be a BlackRock Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Sadly, real people get damaged by political warfare and control. None of them care about investors. He's starting to get a lot of heat on Capitol Hill. I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC or government reached out to BlackRock to say, go. That's a lot of speculation, however. Would not be surprised. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat, too. I don't have any evidence, so I'm not saying that I actively believe that is the case, but I think it's very reasonable speculation at this point, given their track record, them jumping in right now, and the connections, and then also having known through the grapevine since last August that this was the... Actually, I think I first got word of this. It may have been May or June. I'd have to go back to double check. I knew that this was the plan, then saw BlackRock jump in, and I believe I did talk about that publicly leading up to it. And then August happened. August came around. We got the news that BlackRock had jumped into crypto. But this is the big one. This is the big one. A little bit less than a year later now, and this is what I articulated at the time was likely the plan. This is going to go, and this is what Gary Gensler and crew is going to approve. And what do you know? It is unfolding like that. And so, given that I'd heard through the grapevine that this is what's happening, this is the word, people talk, and then it just unfolds exactly like that now for my timeline, just a little over a year, I guess. I'm sitting there looking at that, and then I'm looking at the 575 approval to 1 loss, and I'm just like, okay. I'm excited for this. This is fantastic news. I mean, it's not fair, and it sucks because, it should have been Grayscale or some other firm at least that got approved. I mean, I think it's awful that there hasn't been something like this approved to this point, but I can't control that. I'll acknowledge absolutely it's terrible, and I'm against that. I don't think it makes any damn sense, but still I acknowledge also, on the flip side, whoever gets approved, it's good for me and it's good for you. And if it's the largest firm of this type in terms of assets under management on the planet, how does it get better than that? It doesn't. Not when it comes to spot Bitcoin ETFs. It doesn't. But this will open the floodgates. You're talking about all the institutional money. My God, the opportunity. It's because it's not just them. Again, I'll just say it again. It's not just BlackRock. And these other firms like Invesco that jumped in, that's the one that I think is like 1.5 trillion in assets under management. There a ton more are going to flow in. Probably even Grayscale eventually get approved. So just keep watching for it. But this is an incredible time to be in crypto. I know it's a 14-year-old industry, but like it's a baby industry still. I still firmly believe that. There's still minimal utility for the asset class as a whole. There's almost no people using crypto on a daily basis. Almost nobody is aware of it, like factually what it is. So kudos for you for paying attention to this asset class. And I very sincerely mean that. Like, we're super early, but we're the ones that already get it. We're here first. And it pays to be first if we're right. And if we're wrong, then we lose everything, which is possible. Maybe it goes to 0. But I'm just saying, and it's true. But I think that, I placed my bets. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.